know, doing the thing that everyone, was told to do, go to school, get good grades, to go to college, to continue to get good grades, and don't get me wrong, I'm not here to obviously bash school. I learned a ton, and I'm sure a lot of you guys learned a lot throughout school too. School does a great job at helping you become disciplined and being ready for, the corporate world. That's what it's for. And it does an excellent job at it, but there's certain things that come with that, like the lack of, obviously time freedom. And, there's sometimes, obviously caps with your income that didn't just rub right with me. I got my 4-year degree in IT. I was ready to leave school, go get like right away a $70,000 paying job, but I decided to take this route because I could see where it was going to take me. I could see the type of life that I was going to end up living, guys, being able to see the results that I didn't have yet, but knowing that they're coming, guys. It was having belief in myself. I instead of taking, the corporate route, earning almost a 6-figure income right away, I decided to, venture off in network marketing. My business partner, Jay Patnode, who you hear from in a little bit. And I was making $150 a month coming out of college. All my friends in college, I remember they're graduating, getting their full-time jobs. They're all boom, making 60K right away. I was talking to Jay. I'm like, dude, man, like they're all making full-time incomes right now. And we're sitting here making $150 a month, because that's what we were getting paid at the time. And we just had to keep showing up to calls like this. We had to keep reminding ourselves to stay close to the fire and why we started this in the first place. See, a lot of people, they stop coming to these calls. They stop doing personal development. They forget why they're doing this. What I want to do on this call with you guys is I want to do a refresh. I want to refresh our brains together. Me and Jay have had to do this several times, refresh our brains. Remember why we joined, maybe like this, for an example, I had to refresh multiple times, over the years, who my mentors and uplines were. I had to refresh it because I'd spent so much time with them that I know, all the, let's say, small little things that, they, what do you want to call them? I know all their, their flaws. I knew all their flaws, and, I just had to refresh my brain and remember these people have the results I wanted. And I remember, doing that, and I was actually able to do it. A fresh start, day one of joining, day one of doing personal development. We always used to say, start at zero every single day. Just refresh yourself, just wipe everything off the table and just start at zero every single day, guys, knowing that you still know what but it's to refresh your brain, guys. So that's what this call is really about. We're not going to take too much time on this call. At the end of this call, I am going to be selecting, 1 or 2 people to come up and obviously, just kind of share something with everyone that, I'll be, asking what it is at the end. So just be aware, it's not going to be anything crazy, just like a, quick 30 seconds, minute. One thing I wanted to just kind of cover with you guys real quick is these calls, what we do when we started doing these years ago, the whole way we set up these calls for our team is before the call, throughout the week, Jay and I would go listen to different personal development. We would go listen to different people that, we wanted to learn from, whether it's in the morning, at the gym, or whatever. And we would write down the things that we were like, wow, this is golden information that's going to help me, grow my business a ton. And also my team, we come on here and we would just share exactly what we learned. So if you're ever wondering what it's like to do a leadership call with your team, that's how we did it. And it had massive success. So that's what we're going to do here, guys. We posted a new schedule every single Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're ripping one of these calls and having other people speak as well. I just wanted to talk about, the most important thing that I think when you're building this business is having posture. And right about now is a time where I'd recommend, guys, if you really want to gain some value from this call, just whip out a notebook and just jot some notes down. Okay. This is what really separates the people who take it in, remember it, and use it compared to the people that hop on just for a motivation juice up. So posture is the most important thing that I've learned from myself throughout my journey in this business. When you're going, to someone like, let's say when I was graduating college and I was telling everyone who's going to get these full-time jobs, in my head originally, I'd be like, man, like, they this person, they already have a, full-time salary locked down. They're 23 years old, 22 years old. It seems like they have it all figured out. Like, why would I even go bother them with this opportunity? but I didn't have any posture back then. I had no idea that what we have is not the best. It's just better. We think that that person has all the things in the world, and you think, oh no, I never wanted to talk to them. They would always say no. I would never go hit that person up. It's an instant no. What I had to realize is that what we have, like I said, it's not the best. It's just better. We have time freedom. We have no income cap. We have the ability to do personal development with our, obviously people we're working with. You meet thousands of people on a day-to-day basis that are opening new doors for you and your family and your loved ones. You're able to travel on the snap of a finger at some points throughout this career, guys. There's nothing holding you down, and it's all on you pretty much. That's the things that we realize. We got to realize that we have something amazing to offer anyone, literally anyone on the planet. And that's where you start to develop your posture. That's where you start to hold your chin up a little bit high when you realize what we actually have here, what kind of opportunity this is, what kind of education that we're able to give someone. Go walk up to a random person, let's say a random 10 people in a random 10 cities, and ask them everything they know about trading and investing. I guarantee you 95% of them are not going to know pretty much anything at all whatsoever. Like, oh, I got a 401k. It's like, okay, that's awesome. But, their own personal knowledge is little to none. And so we got to understand we can help people learn. Right now in the chat right now, I want you to drop a 7 in the chat. If since you've been able to join this company, have you learned stuff about trading and investing on your own? Have you learned more about the markets? If you didn't know anything from when you first got started, think about what you know now. It's insane. It's like night and day. And so you got to really realize we can help change the world. People are paying a couple $100 to have access to information that people pay thousands of dollars for in college, guys. This information, none of it's new under the sun. It's all been here. They're just charging way more at college than they are here, guys. And it's just a crazy thing. So just have posture when you're sharing this with people, because we have what a lot of people want. We have the best deal, guys. One thing I also learned when I started hopping on calls with people, let's say it's me and you right now. Okay. It's me and you on the call. You have no idea what I do for a living. You don't know what this company is. The thing that I started doing was I decided to, when I wanted to have a prospect hop on, I decided to try and become a life consultant with them. For an example, it's like, let's say you're sitting with your friend and your friend is, let's say doing whatever, it doesn't really matter, but they're your life consultant. You're sitting here, Anthony, here's my situation. I'm making this much money at my job. I have, this many kids or something. I'm trying to move to this state. I also have, a family member who has medical bills. You explain your whole situation to them. And now you're like, what do I do? What do I do with my life right now? That's how you want to treat the way that your friend will respond to you. That's how you want to speak to your prospects. You want to be their consultant. Right when me and Jay would hop on calls back in the day, when we started doing this, we would hop on and we'd ask them, what's your name? How old are you? And keep in mind, every single meeting that we did, we took notes on it. We literally would label meeting 576 and we put down, here's the person's name and here's how I met them. Every single meeting, we would never do a meeting without putting it down. And we'd say, what's your name? How old are you? Where are you from? Have you ever traded before? Do you trade or invest on your own yet? Most times it's no. If they say no, tell them, oh, that's completely fine. Most people don't at all. So, don't worry at all. And be like, why are you interested in trading? Why are you even on this call right now? Then they're like, I just want to, learn, be able to make, an extra side hustle. I want to be able to make extra income. And I'd ask, what are you trying to make extra income for? How much are you trying to make extra? They're like, I don't know, like an extra $500 to $1,000 a month. And because I'm saving up to buy a vehicle, right? And so you're breaking down who they are, where they're from, how old are they, what is their position? What do you currently do for work? You're consulting them, and what you're trying to do by asking these questions is, and this is the last question. I'll tell you guys that what you're trying to do in a second. The last question I asked too is this. So, Jacob, you're 32 years old and you've never traded before. You're in Minnesota as well with me. You want to learn, just get into the markets, be able to start making income. The last question I asked is, so you're 32, in 5 years, you're going to be 37 years old. where do you see your life if there was no limitations? If you could have any way you wanted your life to be by the time you're 37, what does it look like? And then now they start thinking, I'm like, listen, no limitations, let it rip. They start going off. Okay, well, I think I'd want, to live in a huge house. I'd want to have my family completely taken care of financially. I'd want to be able to live in Florida. I want a pool. I want to be able to, give back to my parents for what they did to me. I want to be able to retire them. They start listing off the things they truly want out of life in 5 years from now. That right there is where you're able to find a spot where you can help them with your product and service. Listen, man, you just told me, you want to retire your parents. You want to be able to, have your family be financially free. You want to be able to go move to, Florida, have a massive house with a pool. Listen, I have something that you can utilize that will help you achieve those goals, as it's been able to help me and a lot of people in my life achieve ours as well. Okay. That's the whole beginning of the call. You are a consultant for them, and that was one of the biggest things I ever learned. Every call I was doing a consulting in the beginning. I'm like, who are you? Where are you from? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? And so, that's just a really, really important thing, guys. One of the last few things I'm going to share here before I pass it off to Jay, and then we're going to be having some people come on, is, I shared this for people who came to, we had a meeting in Minneapolis for all the leaders and stuff, that they came out to. And I basically showed them something that's helped me a ton that my mentors taught me back in the day. And it's called, If I Would You. Okay. And I know a few people on here already heard this, but this is very, very big. This, if used correctly, is thermonuclear. If you use this correctly, you will have an abundance of people, checking out the information for you guys. Okay. And so the whole point of If I Would You is because it doesn't create pressure. It's not selling them anything. It's not forcing them to do anything. It's very calm, but if used correctly, it's very, destructive in a good way, if that makes sense, guys. And so, step one, if I would you, the person, you reach out to them or they reach out to you about the idea of trading, right? And they're showing interest, and you say this to them, you're like, so Sam, if I were to give you, a link to a call that we're holding tonight about trading, would you hop on and watch it? Okay. So if I gave you something, would you give me something? If I did something for you, would you do something for me? It's a very, very successful way of asking, someone to, do something back. And so, you can also do this. If I were to give you a video, it's about 15 minutes long, explaining, what it is that we do, would you watch it? That's the iGenius video, guys. You can send out, the presentation video that's pre-recorded on YouTube. And they say, sure. And then step two is, so, okay, awesome. I'll send you that. When could you watch it by for sure? And they say, what's today? Today is Wednesday. They say Friday. I can have it done by Friday. And you say to them, okay, awesome. So if Friday I shot you a call, and you'll have it done for sure, right? And they say, yes, you just rechecked again. What time should I call you at? And they're like, let's say 5 o'clock. And I'm like, all right, awesome. What is the best way for me to reach out to you? And this is, because not everyone gives you their phone number. You can do social media and so on, guys. And so that's just a way that helped me a lot. It didn't create pressure with my prospects. It didn't create pressure or sales or force them to do anything. I'm asking them, hey, if I do something for you, would you do something for me? And so that was a major game changer for me. I was obviously getting my information out there a lot. I also spoke about this at the meeting. If you are giving out the link to overviews, if you're giving out the information and people are not showing up, there's one reason. 99% of the time, what it is that they don't respect your time. It's plain and simple. It's okay. This has happened to me so many times. This has happened to a lot of different people inside of network marketing and even in the direct sales industry, guys. But there's a way to get them to respect your time more. And it's about how you are speaking to them when you're giving them the information, such as like the Zoom link. Okay. So here's an example. Let's say, if I would use someone, I asked them if they could hop on tonight's call at 7. They're like, yeah, sure. I send them the link. This is how you get them to respect your time. Okay. In a nice way. You say, okay, so listen, Anthony, here's the link. It starts at 7 p.m. CST sharp. Okay. I already told a few people you're going to be on the call. They're really excited to see you on there. Don't worry. You won't have to talk or anything, but just make sure to put it in your calendar. Okay. And then they're like, okay. And then, I say, all right, here's the link. What I just did there was I told them people are expecting them on the call. I told them it's 7 p.m. sharp. Don't be late. I told them to put it in their calendar. I'm raising the level of importance for this call through the roof, compared to how I used to do it back in the day. Like, all right, here's the link. Let's talk after. Like 1 out of 10 people would hop on the call. I don't know if you guys can relate to that, but that's how it was for me a lot. So I learned how to raise my posture, ask them correctly with a if I would you, and make them respect my time more by speaking to them clearly. So what I'm going to do right now, guys, I want to give you something because social media is obviously a huge important way for our business, right? Social media, 90% of my businesses came from it. And I'm sure you guys can relate, but what I want to do is I want to give you guys this social engagement group that, we've been a part of for a while. And so this is basically a group that, we're starting so we can, basically when you post an Instagram post, we're all going to hop on there and we can comment on each other's posts every single time. Okay. I'm going to actually go grab the link from Telegram. I'll have it ready for you guys. But for right now, what we're going to do is we're going to just quickly transition. I'm going to be passing this to one of my business partners, guys. Me and this person, if you've never heard from either one of us, me and this person have gone way back. We met in college in the basement of a 100-year-old house. And I'll make sure to drop in our main group. We met in college like 5 years in the basement of a house, didn't really even know each other that well, and just immediately hit it off and started chatting up business and talking and what our goals were and ambitions. And we just, you could feel that energy with someone when you first meet them. And we just had crazy experiences in network marketing together, guys. He's been, over the years holding calls in front of thousands of people with me. He's held tons of different trade sessions over the year, a lot of different educational ones, tons of leadership calls. And, he's a 6-figure earner now for the last, 2 years or so. And so I'm just very blessed, happy and grateful to call this person my business partner, but also, a mentor to me and a lot of different people, guys. So if you haven't taken out your notebooks yet, I highly suggest you do it. When he's done talking, I'm going to come back up. I'm going to let you guys know what that link is. And we're going to select a few people to spit some sauce themselves. All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce Jay Patnode. Let's get it, baby.
What's going on? Appreciate that intro. That's actually hilarious. The basement of a 100-year-old house. And it's crazy to think about how fast time has actually passed, since then. The time just flies. And I know everybody can relate to this feeling like, 5 years ago was just yesterday. And honestly, that's going to bring me right into something I wasn't going to talk about, but I want to just reiterate is time passes so quickly. Like, you may not know it. The time might feel like it's going so slow, but 5 years, 5 years passed. You're like, wow, this literally just went by as fast before I could even think about it. And it is insane. That's why I want you guys to understand that the time is going to pass regardless. Tomorrow, next 24 hours are still going to pass. Next week's going to pass. Next year is going to pass and seem just like this. But what you do during that time is what determines everything about your future. The time is going to pass. You can decide not to work. You can decide to take days off. You can decide not to message that person or be afraid to message that person. Whatever it is, the time's going to pass. It is always going to pass. And when I think about it, my 3 years of being in network marketing have went by so quickly, but I feel like we've done so much, but I also feel like there's so much more that we could have done and so much that we are going to do. So that is something that is crazy. The time passes so quickly, even with this year. Something that I've noticed is obviously everybody has their New Year's resolutions and the time goes. And, the first day of the new year, the gym is packed out. And you guys have probably heard this before. A month, starts to slow down. Then 2 months, I went in today. I'm like, okay. I mean, there's people here, but it's just the regular same people that have been in the gym before. So just understand that time is going to pass. How you feel it is everything. So just make sure you're focused and on some type of goal. But there's a couple of different things I want to talk about. The very first one being is commitment. And a lot of times we talk about, your level of belief, how much do you believe in what you're doing? Because without belief, you can't actually get the energy or the dedication to take that step forward towards your goals. But, and obviously you have the belief if you're on this call, you have somewhat of a belief, that you are in the right place at the right time with the right people, with the right opportunity, but maybe you just haven't taken that next step forward. And that's where I want to talk about that you need to raise your level of commitment. You need to raise your level of belief, obviously, and have a massive belief in what you're doing. But in reality, you really need to raise your level of commitment. Because I know people that have been in this for, a while, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, and they believe that this is what they should be doing. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here. But what you need to do and understand is you need to raise your level of commitment. Make this a priority, make it your priority, make it your top priority. Obviously, unless you have, kids or a family or whatever that is, this can come right afterwards, but you need to make this a top priority in order to get to the levels that we all want to get to, to get to 6, to get to 7, to get to 8 figures. You got to make this a priority. So I'm going to show you guys and tell you guys 3 different ways that I've found helpful to raise, to raise my level of commitment. And there is 3 components. I call them the 3 Ds. So if you don't have a notebook or you're taking some type of notes, make sure you get that out. But the very first one of the Ds is desire. Desire, be consumed. Are you consumed with this? Are you obsessed with your craft? Are you obsessed with getting better, reaching out to people, obsessed with the process? Desire is everything. How bad do you really want this? How bad do you really want this? You have to ask yourself, take a second and think to yourself, how bad do you really want this? Or is this just something that seems like it would be nice if you could do it? If you could do it. Or do you really want this? Do you really want to have your own time, have your own money and travel and do whatever you want when you say it, how you say it? If you do, then this is for you. But how bad do you really want to? Ask yourself, is this just a thing that you think you're going to try to do, or are you going to actually do it? Because some of us have been in the game for a while now, but we still haven't made that commitment. We still don't have a strong enough desire. The first thing you really want to know or really want to do is ask yourself, what do you want out of this? If it is just a part-time income, if it is just to learn how to trade, if it is just, get some people making extra 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grand a month, that is 100% fine. But if you really want this as bad as you say you want it, it's time to step it up. And just in reality, for everybody, even for myself, I want 7 figures. 6 figures is enough. I want multiple 7 figures. I want to make $1 billion in my lifetime. I want to be a billionaire for obviously a bunch of reasons, but none stronger than freedom. But one thing that I helped as far as desire goes, you have to start redefining what your fun is. What do you think is fun? If this isn't fun to you, you need to change it around so it is fun. You have to fall in love with it. This was something that there's been times where it hasn't been that fun for me. And it was hard to get myself into it. But then realizing everything that you get out of this can create everything that you want to do. So, my example is, yeah, I could go get a job, or I could have went and got a job. But at the end of the day, would I be as happy as I possibly could be instead of where I am right now? Being able to, do my own things on my own time. So that is one of the biggest things, is redefine what your fun is. Make this something that it is fun to you, and make it fun for the people around you. Because I promise you, it can become a lot of fun when you're truly committed to it. So that's the very first one, is desire. The second one is direction. You need to find direction. You have the biggest burning passion, burning belief. You can have, the biggest desire to want to have massive success, but without direction, you're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to be able to go anywhere. You're going to be wasting a lot of energy. And yes, ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. But still, if you can go and have knowledge on fire, and pushing yourself in a certain direction that is going to give you the best results, that's what you need to do. So the best way to find direction, what's the best way to find direction? Ask for help. Ask your upline. If you can't, if they don't know, ask your upline's upline. Ask your upline's upline. And if you don't have that, find a mentor. I have so many mentors I've never even spoke to in my entire life. YouTube University, following people's social medias, listening to reels, TikToks, etc. That has become such a big thing these days. You can learn a lot of key gems and nuggets and knowledge from people without even knowing them. And a lot of times it's all just free. All the stuff, everybody that's a part of iGenius can obviously come and ask us for help. So never feel afraid to reach out, whether you're on our team directly or not. You can always reach out. Obviously, we'll put like our contact stuff at the very end, but you need to find direction. So ask for help. Stay coachable and teachable. So when you get this help, when people give you these nuggets and this knowledge and these directions to go on, actually use the knowledge that is given to you. A lot of times you ask, how can I be successful? And you get an answer and you're like, that kind of seems hard. That kind of seems tough. So you don't actually ever go use it. So ask for help, stay coachable and teachable, and pick a mentor, pick multiple mentors. Something that you can do and something that I've done before is each week I study a new person. Each week I study a new top network marketer, a new top sales guy, a new social media personality. You can do it once a month. You can do it once a week. Just go ahead for that whole week. Here's a guy, Matt Morris. We talked about him a lot. Go on YouTube, type in Matt Morris, and for a whole week, just study his videos. Watch 2-3 videos a day. Study his videos, then switch it up. Switch it up to somebody else. Study their videos, 2-3 videos a day. All YouTube. There's so much content on YouTube. So that's the second D. So the first one is desire. Second one is direction. And then the very third one is after you have desire, after you have direction, you need to have discipline. And I think this is the biggest one. And sometimes, obviously, we all can still struggle with it. But discipline is what's going to help you there when you are not as driven as you want to be. Having a disciplined schedule of what you're doing every single day, a discipline to your daily commitments on what you're going to do to be successful in this industry is everything. Is everything. You know, I was actually talking to myself actually like a month ago, and I was like, no, I have all this time because I work from home and I've been doing this for so long. Why am I not in the best shape of my entire life? Why am I not in the best shape of my entire life? I always say I want to get fit. I always want to, feel better, look better, be better. I always say that, but I wasn't disciplined enough in that aspect. And since then, for the last 22 days or so, I've missed 2 days of the gym max, 2 days of the gym max. Because I realized you have to have discipline. It's not only just in this making money. Yes, that is awesome. That's great. But there's other things that overspill into your life. So I was like, I need to get healthy. I need to feel better. I need to, feel optimal in my life, because discipline is everything. And if you can't do it in at least one field in your life, how are you going to expect to do it in this? There's so many other simple things that you can be disciplined on. You can read 5 to 10 pages of a book a day. Can everybody just tell me, put a 1 in the chat if they have enough time in their life to read 5 to 10 pages of a book a day, or even 5 to 10 minutes to watch a 5 to 10 minute YouTube video on whatever it is that's going to make them better in this world? It is simple and it is plain. It is the daily disciplines. This will show how serious you actually are. And this will all go back to desire. Is how bad do you want it? Do you want it bad enough to stay disciplined on the road to success? Because if you do, I promise you, life will get a lot easier, and this will get a lot easier for you. If you just do the simple things, message 10 people a day, study an audio, read a book, talk to a mentor, just the little thing that you can do every single day, because we all have the same 24 hours. It's just depending on how you use them. So that was a big, big thing for me. And the easiest way, honestly, that I've been able to develop discipline is for like my daily schedule is at the end of every single night, map out what you're gonna do the next day. If you have work, you have work. I understand that. But map out what are you gonna do as soon as you get off work? What are you gonna do from the moment you wake up? When are you gonna go to the gym? Carve out that time. If you work 9 to 5, you still have 5 to 11, 12, depending on how much you want to work. I know some people, like my boy Dylan back in the day, he used to work 9 to 5 and then work 5 to 2 a.m., get 3 hours of sleep. That's how bad he wanted it. Eventually ended up going full time. But we all have, the same hours in a day. It's just how you're using this. If you do have a job, that's understandable. But carve out that last 5 to 7 hours. You should go work out. You should go read. You should go ahead and study the charts. You should go ahead and reach out to people. Or before work, reach out to people. It's all about finding the time. Not finding the time, making the time. It's not about finding the time, it's about making the time. Because if you really want it that bad, you will make the time. So those are the 3 Ds. I'll go over them real quickly: desire, direction, and discipline. And if you can master these 3 things, it'll help raise your level of commitment and thus raise your income level and raise your lifestyle and everything, and your goals and your dreams and your expectations for yourself. And the one thing I can promise you is if you do these things, you can stay disciplined. It'll start to raise your level of belief as well, because you'll start seeing it. Okay, yes, I can actually do this. All you have to do is just go hard, and you will see that you can actually do this, which will make you want to go even harder. Because once you get a little taste of the money, and little taste of the freedom, I promise you, you'll never stop wanting more and you'll never want to go back. But that is all for what I'm going to say. Like I said, if you guys ever need anything, reach out to me. I'm going to pass it back to Josh on Instagram at jpatnode, just my name. If you ever want to ask questions or you need help with anything, or just want advice or guidance or shit, you just want to tell me you feel good today, go ahead. I would love to hear it.
Awesome, bro. Cool. Well, drop some sevens in the chat first of all for Jay Patton. Those D's definitely do help. No, for real though. He's been, it's cheesy, but no, he's been definitely influencing me a lot though. It's being business partners and stuff. We go through waves. You got to have an accountability person in your life to keep you accountable and on track, guys. It's not always just you. You gotta leverage your upline, your sideline, your friends, your other people within the business. It doesn't matter. You got to leverage other people and get around a group that's doing the same thing that you want to be doing. And it makes it 10 times easier, guys. So, obviously, guys, like what these calls are for. Maybe you don't, but these calls are to help you become better, and if you become better, you make more money. That's literally how it goes, guys. You impact more people and you make more money. It's as plain as simple as that. And that's why we show up to these calls. That's why we do this, some people, they literally just stick around, let's say they're not even making any money. They stick around just because these type of calls and this environment and this group of people change who you are. And that's one of the most rewarding things in the world is coming in a completely different person. And, by the time you either pass away or by the time you move on to a new opportunity, you completely change. And that's one of the realest things that I've ever experienced myself. Me and Jay joining this business, we were not anywhere who we are today, like completely different people. And so that's why I'm very blessed, happy, and grateful to be a part of this with you guys. And so, your rank is a reflection of the type of person you are, guys. So that's why you got to keep showing up these calls, and your job's going to get easier the more leaders you create. And so one of your main jobs throughout the week should be making sure that your top 5 to 10 leaders for sure, but mainly your entire team is showing up to these calls. You need your team to show up to these calls. You have to stress on this is the most important thing on a weekly basis, guys, is showing up to these, keeping them locked in, keeping them focused and engaged. Every time before these calls, guys, when I was first starting these leadership calls, I would text like 100 people on my team when I eventually had 100, but when I only had 5, I'd best believe I was texting those 5 people, get on these calls and let's learn from our mentors, not from me, from our mentors, guys. And so, what we're going to do right now, I'll just kind of wrap this call up is I'm going to call on a few people. If your camera's off, you're more likely to get called on, by the way. And, that's always fun, but, no, I just want to call on a few people and, kind of ask, whether you've been in it for, network marketing for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, doesn't matter, whether you've made money or you haven't, whether you have people on your team or you don't, it doesn't matter. This is just calling people in general. I just kind of want to know what is something, let's say one thing that you think you could share with these 23 people on this call that is going to help them dominate the month of March 10 times more than if they wouldn't hear it. Okay. And so remember, it doesn't have to be anything crazy long. I just want to hear, a quick 30 seconds, something that's really helped you over the last X amount of time, obviously, with your mindset, maybe your team building skills, anything, guys. This could be all across the board. Okay. So the first person I want to call on is Shane Thorne. I want Shane to come up here, and I want you basically to just break down something that you've learned, that's going to obviously help other people, bring their business up to speed as quick as, they would like to, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and replace my spotlight with him. Let's get it, Shane. How you doing, baby?
Good. You can hear me?
Yes, sir.
I bet. So one thing I would say is know your why you did this, why you're doing it, who you want to help, and never give up. I've been in this for 2 years. I haven't made much money, but I promise you, never give up. It'll all be worth it. No matter if it takes you 5 to 10 years, you're out of your job, you're doing what you want to do. Just never give up and figure out your why.
Dude, that was awesome, man. Hell yeah. I appreciate you coming on here and spitting that real quick. Now, guys, I met Shane at an event, and, he's been hustling ever since. He stayed consistent. and he, has done tons of personal development and growth. So he definitely has a lot that he could share with people who, are going through the highs and the lows. So I appreciate you hopping on here, Shane. I'm excited to be seeing you on these calls. A lot more coming up here. Let's get it. Guys, the next person that I am going to be calling on, a lot of you know this person. This person's been learning and growing just at an exponential rate ever since they got started. Kind of similar to Shane. They had that never give up mentality. They had that mentality where, even when times got tough, they just talked themselves into the idea that it's going to be okay and they're going to win, and it's just been so cool to learn from afar, alongside with them over the years, guys. So one of the top educators in the company, Devin Spurrow, guys, let's have him hop up here. And Devin, listen, man, I just want you to share something over this, amount of years that you've been inside of network marketing. What is something that you think can help these 22 people on this call take March Madness and crush it?
So what I would say is probably just raising your level of belief, because when you guys actually have a high level of belief in what you're doing, people are gonna be able to feel that when you're actually sharing the information with them. Because like you're jumping on a call and you're like, oh yeah, I'm kind of in this trading thing. Sometimes I win, sometimes I lose. But you should try it. Nobody's interested in that. They're kind of like, ooh, I don't know about that. Like you want to get excited about it. You want to actually, be excited that you're trading, and then people are going to feel that and they're going to be attracted to you. They're going to want to come into your business. And the other thing I would say is, like, I see a lot of people jumping on these calls. I see them on the call every time we have a leadership call, which is amazing. Like, keep jumping on the calls. There's a lot of good information here, but like actually utilize what you're learning. Cause like, it's one thing to jump on the call, but like, if you're just jumping on the calls and you're just like, wow, that was great. And then you just go back and you don't actually, sharpen them skills, you're not going to get anywhere. Like, it'd be no different than watching somebody, watching a video of somebody teaching how to shoot a basketball hoop. You can watch them do that all day long, but the second you step on the court, you got to shoot a few to start making them. You know what I mean? And same thing with trading too. So make sure you guys are actually sharpening them skills, and you might suck at it at first, but the more you talk to people about the business, the more you show the plan, the more people you deal with, the better you get. So that'd be my piece of advice.
Awesome, dude. I appreciate that. Yeah, guys, I being in business with Devin right now for a long time, and obviously, Jay, he's been a part of this, and a lot of other people on this call. It's been cool to see it. I remember there was times when Devin was calling me, man, and we had like a promo going, and he's like, I need 9, customers to see the vision of this company and join right now in order for me to be a part of this thing. And there was like a day or two left on it, and I just had to talk to him and be like, listen, man, I've been there. I know how you're feeling. There's a lot of self-doubt sometimes that can be behind you, but you got to literally just ignore it, like wipe it, refresh, and just know you're getting it done and go ballistic mode for the next 24 to 48 hours, dude. So I appreciate you and your leadership, and keep doing your thing, man. I know you've been killing it on the charts lately. All right, guys. So, obviously, like Devin said, show them how to feel. That's huge, dude. Be excited. They're not going to be excited on the call unless you're excited. 9 times out of 10, if I sign someone up, it's because they felt the passion in my voice. They're like, you're so passionate about this. I'm like, I know, it's awesome. And so you got to show them how to feel and utilize the stuff you're learning on the call 100%, guys. So last person on the call up before we wrap this call up is someone that I've known, for a few years now. Actually, I think it's like 3 or 4 years, maybe 5, might be pushing it. But, this person has an insane amount of discipline. I've never seen someone who's so consistent and so disciplined and sticks to their day-to-day routine over and over and over and over. And, is just resilient and does not give up. Like 100%. It's been a huge, learning curve, watching this person for me and, getting me to be even more disciplined with myself. So I'm just very blessed and grateful to be a part of this leader's life, guys. Let me introduce you to Anissa Rosario. Let's get it. How you doing, boss?
Hello, I appreciate that. It's definitely been a long time, and I hope you guys are taking something away from what these guys are saying, because it's all actually been fire. And that's actually what I was gonna talk on, is having a morning routine and the personal development and growing and developing yourself. Because a lot of people come in here and think like, oh, they're just gonna go and they're just gonna learn, build the business. But it gets tough. It really does. It's not going to be no easy road. Everybody goes through low moments in their life, and it's how you go through those low moments is what's going to determine your next high. So if you're not personally developing yourself, you are never going to make it out. And those are the people that quit. are the people that do zero personal development, because you need to develop the belief in yourself that you can actually do this. Because if you have that mindset when stuff gets hard, that like, oh, I can't do this, you are absolutely correct. But if you go into those low moments and you're like, you know, I can still do this, I know why I'm doing this, you're going to make it out of there. So make sure you're personally developing yourself. And also, you can't pour from an empty cup. So if you're building a team, when they go through their low moments, how are you going to help your team if you're not developing yourself either? You can't pour from an empty cup. So personal development every single day is super, super key. And it's been a key in my life, day-to-day morning routine, whatever personal development is for you, whether it's reading a book, doing some meditation, going to the gym, going for a walk, and just thinking about how your life went, reflecting on your day, listening to some audiobooks, whatever it is for you. Make sure you're doing some type every single day, and also hopping on every single one of these mentorship calls, because you never know what you're going to take from it. The one you miss could be that one where somebody says something that you needed to hear that changes your whole entire business. So always make sure you're hopping on everything, taking notes, and applying what you learn.
Sheesh. Okay. Way to drop the heat right there. That's absolutely awesome, guys. You know, I really liked what you said. You said develop yourself so you can pour into other people. That is so true. I really like that a lot, man. I appreciate you coming up here. You were probably one of the most consistent people on any leadership calls I've ever seen. So mad props to you, Nisa, and I hope you're ready to have a killer year. Let's get it. Guys, just wrapping up the call. You know, I want to appreciate everyone who obviously just spoke right now. If you didn't, don't think you're ever not going to, guys, because these calls, you know, when you do come up on these calls and you speak, man, it's a different type of energy you're feeling, and it puts you on the hot spot. It puts you in the leadership position that you need to be in, guys. And so just know, if you're ever stuck, just like Anissa was saying, it's because you need to grow more. You know, you need to grow more. You need to be disciplined, and you know, obviously you'll go up. I remember I was stuck at one point. I was at a $2,000 a month income, and I just couldn't get past it. I couldn't get past it for months and months and months. It's because I needed to go work on myself more. You know, because your rank is a direct reflection of who you are, you know, so you got to grow more in order to obviously achieve more, guys. And so I challenge you for the month of March, guys. It's March 2nd. This is going to be an insane month. First of all, for those of you that don't know that, March is a hot month. You know, it's a month where everyone's starting to come out of that winter phase. Everyone's starting to come out of that slump phase, and things start hitting off very fast.
Taxes.
So it's one of my favorite months in network marketing ever, guys. You know, March Madness is go time. What I challenge you to do this month, just wrapping this call up. What I want you to do right at this call before you go to bed, just take like literally, it could take 2 minutes. Write down what you know from what you know, every distraction you have in your life right now. I'm talking if it's TV. I'm talking if it's computer games. I'm talking if it's social media, but not for your business. I'm talking if it's a significant other, a boyfriend or a girlfriend. I'm talking if it's going out and partying too much. I'm talking if it's, you know, the wrong friends that are being negative. I want you to write down every single distraction you have. This is so important. And I want you to eliminate it. I want you to avoid it. I want you to get rid of it. And watch your life change before your eyes, guys. Your distractions are your enemy, okay? You got to give up to go up. You know, when I was going from a $150 a month income to a $5,000 a month income, I watched no TV, not even a little bit, no Netflix shows, no nothing. And it was insanely beneficial, guys. And so you got to give up to go up, let them go, write the distractions down, eliminate them, and let's have a killer month. You know, if you have questions, harass us with them. You know, not just me and Jay. I'm talking to any of the people who just spoke. You know, Shane, obviously Devin and Nisa. There's a lot of other people on this call that you can ask questions to, guys. You just got to reach out for help, you know, because the person who asks the most questions tends to make the most money, guys. So I appreciate you guys. Obviously, you know, everyone who hopped on the call, beautiful Wednesday night. Let's attack it. Tomorrow we got an opportunity call, and it's March Madness, baby. Let's get it. Everyone have a great night. Peace out.